Angry Birds Ace Fighters, or Angry Birds Sky Fighters, is a shoot-'em-up game developed by CMG Mobile Kunlun and Korem Game, and published by Rovio. This game had a closed beta test for Android devices in China. Months later, it would be soft-launched in more East Asian countries, this time being available for Android and iOS. The soft launch also added English support. Sadly, this game would eventually be cancelled and shut down the same year, due to Rovio and CM Games' contract expiring, and I guess the adjustment of product structure platform, whatever that means. But this story is not over, because this game is actually being revived. Not by Rovio, but by a group of fans. First, let's go over some history. "2016 was going to be a big year for Rovio and the Angry Birds brand because this year would be the birth of their first film, the Angry Birds movie. This movie had a massive budget behind it. Thanks to that, they were able to gather a decent cast and go all out with the marketing. The marketing ranged from things like a new game to lots of commercials to countless collabs with other companies to release Angry Birds movie-themed products.
You're just not what we're looking for.
Okay, fine. No big deal. No biggie. I am gonna take a rose, though. This is for me.
Rovio was doing everything they could to get people to buy tickets to see this film, and I would say they succeeded. The movie was successful enough to earn a sequel, though it didn't do very well compared to the first, and people considered it a massive downgrade. A third movie is currently in production, so hopefully this film improves from the first two. Of course, there were other things that happened around this time, like the Angry Birds educational attraction Angry Birds Universe opening at the Edmonton's TELUS World of Science, and Angry Birds TNT later being renamed to Angry Birds Evolution, having a beta and 2 soft launches. But this was also a pretty grim year for Rovio because Angry Birds Slingshot Stella had to be discontinued and delisted from app stores, and their games and merch were not bringing in much profit. Rovio had to do something to put a stop to this because this was their most successful franchise. So what did they do? They tried experimenting with new genres and new concepts. They moved on from the traditional slingshot formula, and instead wanted to branch out. Rovio wanted to make an Angry Birds game out of every genre. City Builders, Angry Birds Islands, Match 3 Puzzles, Angry Birds Blast, 3D Runners, one released earlier this month. While some of these games succeeded and made it onto app stores, there were a lot that were just abandoned after a beta or a soft launch. This isn't even just a Rovio thing because there are more mobile game franchises that do this trend of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. This really sucks because a lot of the earlier experimental games had a lot of potential, and these looked like projects people could actually look forward to. Anyways, from early 2015 to early 2016, information spreaded about Rovio, Kunlun, Korem Game, and CM Game Mobile working on an Angry Birds game with scrolling shooter gameplay and the Toons art style. Somewhere between February and March, the project would be released as a closed beta exclusive to China. A couple of months later, it would be released in more East Asian countries as a soft launch. This version added more content to the game, the most infamous being the English language. You can still play the game in the Chinese language, but I would like to imagine that they knew people from the West would get their hands on this game, so they just added English translations to appeal to them. We're gonna discuss the closed beta first, then the soft launch. Keep in mind that there's very little info for some of the features in these two versions, and I couldn't find footage for some of the features in these two versions. So, sorry if I poorly explained something. I don't have access to these games yet, so explaining these versions will be a challenge. The closed beta has this amazing looking title screen. It's a looping animation of the birds flying across Piggy Island and the sea, while occasionally getting missiles thrown at them. So the beta opens with Agate Rabbit walking you through the tutorial level. Agate Rabbit also talks during this tutorial. Just thought I should mention that. You have to slide your finger on the screen to control the bird. When enemies are killed, they have a chance to drop items like gold, score points, pet orbs that unleash your pet's skill, magnets to absorb items within a certain range, a shield to block damage once, and a power-up to upgrade your gunfire. Eventually you encounter the Iron Train Man, who is the boss for the tutorial level. For some reason, it's not Iron Train Pig, but I guess Iron Train Man also works. Every bird has a super skill that does massive damage to enemies. In this case, Red Skill has him release a phoenix that travels across the screen damaging enemies in its way. So after the tutorial level, we're shown the main lobby. Agate Rabbit shows you the rest of what the game has to offer. This egg right here here is the gacha. This is where you obtain pets. There's 3 types of pets you can collect. 3-star pets, 4-star pets, and 5-star pets. Whenever you roll, you get this cool looking cutscene of a light falling down from the sky and landing on an egg, causing it to hatch, and the birds getting excited to see what emerges from the egg. You can upgrade your pets and give them gears. Gears can be used to strengthen your birds and pets. Events has you complete missions to earn rewards, that's really it. You can even collect daily rewards from here. Tasks has you also complete missions, but that's it, just complete missions, no daily rewards here. Stage is the main campaign and contains 10 worlds, each having 7 levels. The levels have a simple structure. The level starts out with you fighting off pigs thrown at you. You also have to dodge occasional obstacles like missiles. At the end of the level, you encounter a boss, and you have to utilize your aircraft, your bird, and your pets to tackle the boss. The gameplay looks very fun and simple to master. To be honest, I don't think I would ever find myself getting bored of this game. It has very enticing gameplay, and the toon style works very well here. In Homeland, you can interact with friends and collect rewards. You can plant treasure chest seeds on the land, and these treasure chests will provide you with materials when finished growing. Tapping on any plants placed on these 5 platforms will grant you pet fragments. You can complete achievements to earn rewards. You can visit another friend's homeland, but as you can see from the footage, the player is experiencing an error. Endless League is a sort of endless mode where you have to play through 4 chapters and survive until the end of the chapters. There's also a leaderboard. Not really sure how you climb it though. In Arena, players challenge other players in a ranked battle. How this works is you will choose a player's defense to battle. If you destroy their defense, then you earn badges you can use in the badge shop. Trial Tower has you battle boss pigs and advance to higher and higher floors. This game mode looks very fun, and as a person who is a huge fan of tower grinding game modes like the Sublime Cake Tower from Cookie Run Kingdom, I probably would have had a splendid time with this game mode. Now, I know there's a lot of very major stuff I didn't discuss, but that's because the things I just discussed were the only things I could find footage for in this version. If there's anything I didn't mention, that's simply because I couldn't find any footage for it in this version. The closed beta has very little documentation on it, so forgive me for that. The APK for this version was found and released for the public to download, and that's thanks to the Flock Archives. Flock Archives is a group dedicated to archiving and preserving Angry Birds games. I would suggest showing this project some love because the people behind it are doing a very massive service to this community. I'll leave links to the project socials in the description. Sadly, the servers for the closed beta are down, so you can't load up the game, but if anyone wants to do anything with it, like perhaps make a mod, do as you please. Most of the stuff I didn't mention will be in the soft launch, and thankfully I was able to find footage for those things in that version of the game, so I should have no problem discussing them. So, like I said in the intro, the soft launch was also exclusive to China, but they added English translations. The title screen this time is a still image of the birds and pigs at war with each other. I don't have much to say about it, but hey, it looks good. The game opens up with a cutscene introducing the lore. So the reason the pigs are giant, robotical, and dressed up like Chuck is because this purple meteor dropped down from the sky and exploded on Piggy Island. Yeah, that's right, I said exploded. It doesn't land on anything, it just explodes in the air. Crystals from the meteor land on some pigs trying to steal the eggs. This alters the pigs, and now they can fly. The Angry Birds notice this, and they try to attack the pigs. Red misses, and we don't know what happens to Chuck and the Blues. For some reason, we don't see them for the rest of the cutscene. He then coincidentally lands in an aircraft and chases after the pigs. Red arrives at King Pig's castle. King Pig and Red engage in a battle, and this cutscene ends with Red launching 2 carrots at the screen. Then we get this cool looking title animation. I think this outro cutscene looks very good, but one thing I am curious about is this little ninja looking character that can be seen on the meteor. We have no possible clue of who this is, and I don't think we'll ever get an answer. We're then thrown into the tutorial. It's the same tutorial level as last time, but now Stella is guiding us.
Moving your finger to control the play.
Also, Red's super skill was changed. Before, it was a phoenix that does high damage to pigs that get in contact with it. Now, red bounces off the left and right of the screen, dealing high damage to pigs in his way. Anyways, we're done with the tutorial. Let's choose our name.
But that's not my name. HandyAdolf. Okay, I mean, I didn't make
The main menu got a slight overhaul, and a lot of features here got rearranged. The gacha's back, the UI improved, and there's a new gacha animation. Though I kinda like the first one more. You can level up pets using these potions. Activity grants you rewards after you complete missions. In the activity section of activities, whenever you complete a mission, you obtain a reward with these activity points that grant you even more rewards when they reach specific numbers. Team allows you to customize your birds, pets, aircrafts, guns, and bird launchers. There's also pet bonds, or I guess cheers as they call it. If 2 pets activate a bond, that increases their stats in battle. I should also explain some of the said things listed. You can equip your aircraft with guns. All of these guns shoot different types of bullets. Bird launchers will occasionally summon a bird on the map to deal damage on pigs. For example, Red's collision will have Red rush out from the bottom of the map to destroy pigs in his way. You can play as 4 birds in this game: Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the Blues. There's a birds feature present on the homepage where you can take a look at your birds and upgrade them. You can choose aircrafts for your birds to fly in. And we already know about the pets. Pets and aircrafts also have this sort of inventory feature. They're the exact same thing as the birds feature. You can look through your pets and aircrafts and upgrade them. You can also add runes to your birds and pets. The runes increase the strength of the two. Runes has its own feature on the homepage where you can look through all of your owned runes and upgrade them. Homeland is back. It's the same as how it was in the closed beta. You can visit a friend's homeland and send them gifts. In this version, instead of planting treasure seeds, you plant actual plants that you can water to shorten their harvest time. You can click on their pets to obtain pet fragments. There's leaderboards, and yeah, I couldn't really get footage for anything else here. But it turns out there are more features here. Decompose lets you choose 2 pets to decompose into pet gems that can be used in the bird's shop and trader. In the shop, you can buy items and pet fragments. You can also buy items from Trader. Something I really like about Trader is the icon. It resembles the Pork Chop Express from the Angry Birds movie, and I find that detail very fascinating. You can create runes, aircrafts, guns, and bird launchers through Compose. You will need blueprints in order to compose those items. This game has a VIP system, which I find kinda weird since this is a soft launch. But if you pay for it, you get access to a lot of privileges. There's also levels in this VIP, so the more levels you reach, the more rewards you receive. You can buy almost every item in the game in the general store. There's also some VIP exclusive items. Celebrations contains events that you can participate in to earn rewards. This was removed in a later version for an unknown reason. There's lots of deals that take place in events. There's not a lot to write home about when it comes to events. In Academy, players can unlock phases if they have enough stars and enough feathers. If they unlock all the phases for constellations, they can then move on to the next constellation. Guild has 6 areas to visit. Daily challenges gives you 6 random challenges to complete daily. When you complete challenges, those challenges fill up a gouge that when fully filled, you're rewarded with a chest. Contests includes 4 different things. Contests is the gouge thing I mentioned earlier, with the daily challenges. Challenges has you challenging guild members, and if you win, you get rewards. Rank lets you look at your guild ranking compared to other guilds. Encounters has you challenge other guild members for rewards, I guess. I couldn't find much info for this. Perks is a shop where you can buy items from. You can view and donate pet fragments in Market Square. You can upgrade your guild in Garrison using rainbow crystals. Expansion lets you expand your guild using gems. Atlas is a list of all your pets, aircrafts, guns, and bird launchers. You can even read some info about the set items. Mail is just a place for you to collect your mail. User profile displays your account info. You can even collect some cool looking icon frames. I think rewards is where you collect daily rewards and complete missions to earn rewards. I could be wrong since I couldn't find this being discussed on the wiki. In labs, there's 2 types of research you can do. In tech research, you research an item to increase its stats. In magic research, you increase the stats of birds and pets. The bag is the player's inventory, and it contains all of their items. Challenge contains 6 game modes that have you play in ranked battles. Endless League has you playing through 4 chapters, each containing 4 phases, and your goal is to survive until the end of the chapter. Every time you kill a boss pig, you obtain a late pack. These packs give you better rewards the higher your rank is. You can look at the team rank, but again, I'm not sure how you climb this leaderboard. In Arena, players will challenge other players in a ranked battle. Basically, you have to battle a defense team layout created by another player. You can even create your own layout for other players to battle. When you successfully defeat a player's layout, you're granted badges that you can use in the badge shop to purchase items. Duet mode will have 2 players join a co-op battle. There's 6 stages you have to play through. You can have the game scan available rooms, create your own room, or auto match. You can earn medals in this game mode that can be used to buy items from the medal shop. In Trial Tower, you have to battle boss pigs that reside on each floor. Each floor will also give you objectives to complete in order to advance to the next floor. I think quick combat just instantly clears a floor, letting you farm rewards. Tournament has you competing against bots. Certain amounts of wins will grant chests to the player. The chests contain emblems which you can use in the emblem shop along with pet gems. And finally for challenge we have castle. You have to conquer each of these 6 castles by defeating the bosses that reside in each one of these castles. If you defeat a boss in a castle, you can have a pet patrol that castle for rewards. The final feature in this game I want to cover is Stage. This is the main campaign of the game and you can play on 3 difficulties. Sadly there is an energy system, but the gameplay makes up for that, so it's all good. Nah, psych, fuck the energy system. This shit ain't bad, piggies too. In every world, for every 7, 14, and 12 stars you achieve, you will receive an egg full of rewards. As we play through the levels, we get to know more about the lore of this game, and why the pigs are dressed up like Chuck. I'm going to explain the whole story to you, and trust me, you're probably not going to want to stick around, so skip to this timestamp if the story gets boring or if you're uninterested. So in the first dialogue cutscene, we already get a swear word. A big meme around this game is Bomb and Red swearing, which is pretty funny and a pretty random thing to have in an Angry Birds game out of all things. So Agate Rabbit and Red are teaming up to stop the pigs and retrieve the eggs. Red is wondering why Agate Rabbit is here. Agate Rabbit tells him that they and the other pets are chasing down the Man in Black. I'm guessing the Man in Black is the ninja we saw on the meteor. So the Man in Black has destroyed a few planets before sending his meteor to Piggy Island. And the meteor was charged with the power of Darkrai. And Darkrai, I guess, fucks up people and makes them bad. So we gotta set up the Toon Squad to stop him. Red and Agate Rabbit encounter a pig who has been corrupted by the crystals. And they don't mind it. The first boss pig is the Pig Swordsman. He sees a bounty poster for Red, so he heads to King Pig's castle to show off his skills. King Pig is impressed and trusts the Pig Swordsman to take down the birds. He encounters Red and tells him to go back. Red is like, nah, we gotta get them eggs back. So he gets his ass beaten.
Oh yeah! Look at you! You was popping all that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest!
Red and Agate Rabbit go to space. Some pigs have landed on the moon. We have already landed on the moon. You birds have fallen behind. You original. What the fuck? Yeah, so something you'll notice with this game is that some of the English is very weird for some reason. I have no idea why it's like this, it's pretty weird. Anyway, Red threatens to beat up the pigs. The Blues teamed up with Unweaned Doggy and they're walking through a graveyard. They accidentally wake up the enchanted beetle and they kick his ass or something, I guess. The dog and the Blues are at a lava chamber and they see some shaman pigs trying to summon something, and I guess they engage in a battle. Our next boss is the Ruined Scorpion. They were just a regular explorer pig until they discovered this, I don't know what the fuck you call these things. He gets hit by one of the crystals and merges with the scorpion. He sees the Blues and the Unweaned dog and wants to fight them. You can imagine how that went. The dog and the Blues are in space because they are. I guess at some point Chuck meets up with the Blues and the Unweaned dog and they fight off pig soldiers together. Corporal Pig is training these 3 pigs. I guess they failed at something, so he scolds. Fuck. Something fell. Corporal Pig is training these 3 pigs, and I guess they failed at something, so he scolds them. He gets hit by a crystal, and that transforms him into the Instructor Pig. He turns these 3 pigs into soldiers. They struggle to get in formation or some shit. I don't even know anymore. Chuck and the dog are recollecting on the battle they had with the Instructor Pig. For some reason, the Unweaned dog works for Tycoon Pig now, and for some reason, Tycoon Pig wants Bomb to take them. I'm not sure who them is. This story's such a fucking mess. The dog and Mom see a steel airship. and Bomb wants to look, swear word. A pig is drawing on a beetle, and the beetle is pissed. The pig tries to attack the beetle, but the beetle grows. The pig and the beetle get transformed by one of the crystals, and just like the ruined scorpion, they merge together to become the enchanted beetle. The enchanted beetle sees Bomb and Unweaned Dog, and they engage in a battle. Red and the Unweaned Dog are in a desert, and I guess they are looking for clues about the crystals or something. They're now at a train station. The Unweaned Dog smelled crystals, so I guess they're investigating the train station. They see pigs digging tunnels in the snow and decide to investigate them. This pig thinks Not King Pig is a dumb poopy head, and Not King Pig doesn't like that, so he kicks him out of the classroom. The student pig is then hit by one of the crystals and receives a cool transformation. At some point, AlphaGo joined the team. Red has a feeling that they're close to the eggs. He spots a village and wants to check it out. I'm guessing this village is the Pig City. Red has a feeling something is getting close. AlphaGo suggests ghosts since they're in a graveyard. Red suspects instead of ghosts, it's pigs being pigs. AlphaGo spots a shining object and wants to investigate it. They run into the pig swordsman again and whoop his ass. King Pig is sailing on a boat. Not sure why he's doing that, since he's a king and not a pirate. A crystal emerges from the water and lands onto King Pig's boat. He tries to eat it and gets transformed. Missiles are being launched at Alpha and Red. They then find themselves in an area infested with mushrooms. Red tells Alpha to turn around. I guess this mushroom pig was the reason Alpha wanted Red to turn around, considering the fact that they're the boss for that stage. They find a pirate ship and get caught by the pirates. This pig is on top of a plane and his plane gets destroyed by a crystal. He then fuses with the plane. I think this design is pretty cool. He wants to fight Red and Alpha. Red and Alpha are in another graveyard. Alpha tricks Red by telling him there's a ghost behind him, but it turns out it's a dance pig that was behind him. They're in another desert, and they see an ancient city or some shit. Alpha smells crystals even though he's a robot. Oh look, it's the scorpion they fight. A pig is conducting a train. It gets hit by an asteroid and he transforms into the Iron Train Man. They're getting close to Pig City, and Red is saying that Pig City is the source of the crystals, which, no, it isn't. You saw where they came from. They notice an army of defenses. I guess they take out the defenses or something. They need to pass through a forest to get to Pig City, and I guess enemies are hiding in the forest. Red all of a sudden reunites with the rest of the birds now, and they attack the pigs in the city. King Pig prepares his airship, and I actually think the design for the second King Pig boss looks very cool here. Something interesting to note is that they use the classic design despite most of the game using the Toons art style. After beating King Pig's ass, King Pig fucks off somewhere and Alpha suggests that they should investigate a cave. They find a UFO pig and kill him, I guess. Alpha spots a giant airship, boss battle. Finally, we're at the last two cutscenes for the story. The birds are destroying the pig city and King Pig is running to a basement, I guess. The castle breaks in half, releasing smoke, and a huge airship emerges from the smoke. I think the final part of this cutscene with the airship charging at the birds looks very cool. King Pig is taunting Red saying he's a bitch and his father left him, but Red is still hell-bent on getting the eggs. It turns out the eggs were a very meaningless part in King Pig's plan. Sadly, we'll never know what his true plan was. I think this giant airship boss fight is very cool and a perfect way to conclude the story. For now at least, since it was left on a cliffhanger. I'm not a big fan of the story because it's just so incomprehensible and nothing. The more the story went on, the more I just wanted it to end. The story is the only problem I have with this game because it just makes no sense. A pet that was traveling with this bird is with this bird now for some reason. Half of the shit is never explained and it just makes the story so confusing. Now, I want to cover some cut content that was in Ace Fighter. Pets were supposed to get a third evolution, and there was going to be a battle report system in the arena. Funny story, I thought this tank pig from this poster for the closed beta was a scrapped boss, but it turns out this pig was in the game. Sadly, we'll never see any of this stuff added to the game since it was never finished. Speaking of never finished, the cancellation for this project. On September 5th, 2006, it would be announced that the game would be cancelled on October 8th of the same year due to Rovio and Sam Games' contract expiring. On September 6th, the game would be removed from the App Store and the Google Play Store. They turned off VIP and recharge. The recharge thing was something you had to pay money for to get rewards or something. And on October 10th, the game's servers were shut down, rendering the game unplayable. The wiki says that you can still access the tutorial level, but you will not be able to play the rest of the game. I tried doing that, but I had no success. This marked the first Angry Birds game to get cancelled following a soft launch and a beta. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this story is not over because a group of fans are actually trying to revive this game. A project known as the Angry Birds Web Pit, or I guess the Web Pit for short, is working on a version of this game with working servers. They've done this with Angry Birds Fight, and they plan to revive more cancelled projects in the future. They actually just started development on Ace Fighters this month, so we should see some updates regarding their progress. I'm not sure if they'll consider reviving the closed beta, but hey, if someone from the Web Pit is watching, the APK is always in the description. They connected Spirit account to all of their games, so people could easily save their progress, since trying to use Facebook won't work. I would suggest showing this project some love and spreading the word about their work. Links to their socials will be in the description. Anyway, that was Angry Birds Ace Fighter, a cool game. I should mention that there's also an official website and Facebook page for this game, but there's nothing really too interesting about those. Except for this image right here. What the fuck is this? But yeah, just some miscellaneous trivia about this game. 1 year ago, my first video was posted. Crazy, right? I can remember like yesterday, back in September of last year, speaking into my Blue Snowball microphone about Greybird and Tiny Tim or whatever the fuck. Thanks to everyone who gave any of my videos a view, regardless if you liked them or hated them. I really like making videos talking about obscure mobile game trivia. Alright, I need a nap.